Go ahead and approach briefly. Mr. Graham, I'm just going to place Exhibit III for identification on the screen. That's the photograph you took of the firearm with 5 bullets in it, correct?
Yes, it is.
And then the other photographs you've already testified to relative to the original image and the mirror image?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. I have no further questions.
All right, Ms. Kennicott.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Green.
Good afternoon.
Thank you, sir. Now, sir, I'm just going to go backwards a little bit. You said on that identification exhibit that you had, the tattoos and all, you created an exploded image. What is that?
Yes, what I did was I took a piece of one of the images that was smaller in content and then just made that particular image larger.
So you blew up an image on a board, correct?
Yes, I did.
So in terms of size of the actual image, it's not representative, right?
No.
Okay. And did anyone tell you how big to make it?
No.
All right. And you would agree, sir, that expanding the size of something, because you've been in law enforcement for a long time, would draw your eye to that image more than, for instance, if you see it on a person, correct?
Probably.
Okay. So it's really not a fair representation of how an image looks in terms of its size on somebody, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, also, you stated that you placed yourself 5 rounds in this gun. When did you get this gun?
I got the gun about 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago.
From Detective Camper?
Detective Josh Cummings.
Detective Josh Cummings. So you've never met Detective Camper?
No, I have.
You have met Detective Camper, but you've never been in the presence of Detective Camper when Detective Camper has handled the gun that you drew, that you photographed.
No, he had. We photographed it at Boston Police Headquarters the first time, and Detective Camper was there to bring the weapon to me, and also while I was in the room handling the weapon.
So is it your testimony that Detective Camper told you how to photograph this gun?
No, not at all.
So you decided on your own to put 5 Cellier and below bullets into the gun?
That was done at another time.
Who did that, if you know?
I did that.
You did that at another time. Do you have a report on this matter?
No.
Were you told not to write a report?
No. It was not an examination, so we don't do reports.
Did you keep notes?
No, I did not.
Okay. So who was with you at the first time when you had this gun?
Detective Josh Cummings was with me.
Okay, alone, you and he?
Yes.
And then how about the second time you had the gun?
No, the first time it was Detective Ty Camper.
Right.
And Anthony, I forget Anthony's last name now. There's another detective that was with me at Boston Police Headquarters.
Okay.
And then the second time was in my laboratory.
Which is where?
Here at 1 Bullfinch.
Okay.
And Detective Josh Cummings brought the weapon and the cellular and Ballat ammunition to me.
Okay, so you were instructed by the detectives what to put in it, correct? Into the gun? The ammunition?
No, I was replicating the image on the tattoo.
You were replicating the image on the tattoo, okay. Can I have your composite tattoo? I'm going to show you what's been marked as an exhibit 256. And that's, as you know, to keep track in the court records, okay? And then what has been marked just for identification for you to look at III.
Correct.
Okay? Now, you said you had to replicate what's in the tattoo, correct?
I did.
All right. Now, where do you see the word Cellier and below on the cartridges in the tattoo?
I don't.
Okay. And where do you see the drawing of an entire revolver on the tattoo?
I don't.
Right. And you notice again how the tattoo goes in and out and around?
Mm-hmm.
You see that?
I do.
Now, you've been in law enforcement. The actual gun doesn't do that, correct? The barrel of that gun doesn't do that.
The barrel of the gun.
The
doesn't
cylinder,
do that.
the cylinder of the gun doesn't do it on this end, on the end where the cartridges go in, correct?
If you know that to be the case, sir, you may testify.
I don't get what you're saying.
Okay, let me put this
Okay.
on the screen. Let me see if I can have some better look on the screen than I have in the text. Can we publish this? It's already been published, 256. Now, this 256 is the tattoo that you were given to replicate in your photograph, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And that's what you tried to do, you indicated in the photograph you have in front of you.
That's
right?
correct.
Okay. Now, let me show you what has been marked EEE chalk for identification also. Got it? Thank you. Okay, do you see that?
I do.
Okay. And you see how the edges of the back of this cylinder are not circular.
Right, they're concaved.
They're concave.
Right.
All right. And then let me show you what's been marked for identification, FFF. And you see how the edge on this cylinder is circular, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, what you photographed in your exhibit in your identification that you have before you looks like this, 256, correct? Or does it?
No, the cylinder looks different.
That's right, because the cylinder actually looks more like EEE. It's circular, correct?
It does.
All right. And in fact, sir, this is the opposite end when you look at EEE. This is the opposite end that's on the tattoo of a cylinder than the part that you load the bullets into, correct?
Yes, it is.
So when the detectives told you to photograph what you see, you actually didn't do that.
Well, I mean, I was replicating what was in the tattoo.
But you didn't replicate what was in that tattoo because you used the wrong end of the cylinder.
You can't use the other end of the cylinder.
Because if you use the other end of the cylinder, it's not a fair replication of a gun, right?
Correct.
So in fact, what you created in III does not accurately reflect what is in the tattoo on Mr. Hernandez's arm.
Well, there's a difference, but the concavity, the concave portions right here are different.
Okay, thank you. Now, you have a lot of experience in dealing with, let me just get these out of the way before I lose them. Take them off. You have a lot of experience, sir, in dealing with forensic video analysis, correct?
I do.
Okay. And you testified that you did put together a compilation of videos in Cure, right?
I did.
Tufts parking garage?
I did.
And those were what? An entrance lane video,
Yes.
A floating video, and what was the third one?
With the entrance and exit lanes videos, and then there was the floating video, which was a view looking down the street,
Okay.
and then there were the various cameras at Club Cure.
Okay. Now, with all the experience that you have, did anyone ever ask you to go to Club Cure and look into their system and see if you could retrieve allegedly deleted files from July 15th and 16th, 2012?
No,
Did you know, did anyone tell you that files, video files from July 15th and 16th in 2012 were missing?
no. I was still working back at the FBI at that time.
Okay? But the detectives came to you on this case.
They did.
And they never came to you and asked you, Mr. Green, could you see if you could examine a system and retrieve files that are no longer there, that a person could see when they looked on the computer?
That's correct.
Okay. And there is a way to do that, isn't there?
There is.
And would it be fair to say that the FBI at that time probably had more resources than almost anyone in the United States to retrieve deleted files off of video?
We did.
Okay. Now, when you looked at the videos that are from the parking garage, the Tufts parking garage, you made a composite, excuse me, of certain photographs from the entrance lane video, correct?
I did.
Now, you didn't delete anything off the entrance lane video, did you?
No.
Accidentally or intentionally, you would never do that.
No, I did not.
Okay. Now, let me just mark for you. Just one thing more. My able counsel has notified me that I missed something. When I was talking to you about the Cure videos, I was talking about videos inside Club Cure. No one asked you to go and try to retrieve the videos that were taken inside Club Cure that were missing from July 15th and 16th, 2012.
No, they did not.
And you didn't even know that they were missing.
I had no idea.
And if they had come and recommended the same to you, you had the capacity to try to at least see whether you could retrieve those videos.
I could make arrangements for that, sure.
Right. Now, I show you two screenshots from the entrance lane video at Tufts University, okay? Show you the first one, which we screenshotted at 1:07:09 a.m., and the second one at 1:07:23 a.m.
Okay.
These look like they're representations of screenshots or screen captures that you saw when you looked at the video, the entrance lane video?
They look similar to it, sure.
Okay. And, matter of fact, that may be in some of the pictures that you just marked in those three binders, correct?
There could be, sure.
But without going through them all, it'd be easier to work off this for you, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Okay. May I have these marks, sir?
As exhibits.
Yes.
Any objection?
No objection.
All right. If you would, Ms. Kenny,
Yes.
indicate them by time.
Okay. The first one is 1:07:09 a.m.
All right, why don't we receive that? Is that 278 or 9? 276. I've been off all day. Exhibit 276. And that was 109, Ms. Kenny Baby.
1:07:09. And that's going to be at 1:07:23. That's fine. And that's 277, Your Honor.
Thank you.
screen, I'm going to first show you Exhibit 276 that you looked at. And you indicated that you've seen this screenshot, and that looks to be Aaron Hernandez walking past?
It appears to be.
Okay. And that's the entrance lane video, right?
Yes, it is.
And what does that mean?
This is the lane that when you were pulling into the parking lot, that's the lane that you would queue into.
Now, I noticed when you did your compilation that for the Commonwealth that you discussed, you had Mr. Hernandez and Mr. Bradley at 107.54, correct?
I think so.
Yeah. And did you do a compilation that included what is now Exhibit 277, 107.23?
That's probably in the compilation, I'm sure.
All right, well, let me show you the compilation. Do you have the compilation? The compilation. I'm going to show you what was marked 272 and 273, and let me know if you see that screenshot.
Well, these are the composites.
So when you say compilation, you're talking what, the binders?
That's what I thought you were. I
Okay,
thought you
no,
were
that's
referring
fair.
to something
Let's
else.
clear it up,
These are the
because
composites that I had created.
Okay.
That particular image does not appear.
That does not appear in the composites. You don't know whether it's in the binders, it may be, but
Right,
okay.
correct.
So this 277 is not in the composites that you just made and showed to the jury,
That's correct.
okay? And this shows Mr. Hernandez walking into the garage at 107.23, right?
That's correct.
So when you look at the entrance lane video, you can actually see when people enter the garage, correct?
For the most part, you
For
can.
the most part, yeah. You can hold those there. I'll put those up for you in a little bit. So, then let me show you two screenshots. One at 2:25:08 a.m. and one at 2:25:34 a.m.
Mhm.
And I have to ask you, is that a fair rendition of screen captures that you saw on the entrance lane video?
Yes.
May I have these marked, Your Honor?
The 278 will be, the first time was what, Ms. Kenny, about 225?
What's the time, is it? 2:25:08.
Exhibit 279,
Was at 2:25:34.
that we received.
Thank you. Now, I'd like to show you what's been marked as Exhibit 2:25:08. And is it fair to say that that is a screenshot from the entrance lane video at Tufts Parking Garage at that time, 2:25:08 on July 16th, 2012?
It appears to be.
Okay. And the next thing I showed you is a screenshot of Tufts camera entrance lane video at 2:25:34. And that, again, appears to be what you saw, correct?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Right now, on either of these two screenshots between 2:25:08 and 2:25:34, you did not see anyone entering that parking garage.
No, I did not.
Okay. Right, correct?
Yes.
And you looked at the whole video, including the video from 2:25:08 to 2:25:34, correct?
I probably did.
All right. And if you had seen anyone who appeared to be Mr. Hernandez or Mr. Bradley walking in that parking garage, you would have captured it and showed it to the prosecutors, correct?
I would have.
Okay. Because you knew at the time you were doing this that you were specifically looking for Mr. Hernandez or Mr. Bradley.
I did.
Okay. But you didn't make any screen captures between those times, did you?
It was totally subjective.
It was totally subjective, okay. Now, one of the things that you did do is you did circle, as we have seen, a Toyota that Mr. Bradley told you to circle? Or the prosecutors told you to circle? I was unsure.
I was working with the prosecutors and the police.
And the police.
Yes.
And they told you what to circle? On the
Correct.
Toyota coming down the street. And as a matter of fact, you made this big composite board. Let me see if I can get the right one. Oh, well. I think the thing is maybe bigger than me, which is hard to be. 267A, right? Right, you made that.
I did.
Now, in any of the original surveillance videos and the test surveillance videos, were you able to make out the license plate of this Toyota at this point?
No.
And at one point you said that when you had images, and I just want to clear this up, you converted some images to be able to look at them?
Yes, well, I was actually capturing images from the original proprietary files.
Right, and then how would you convert them?
The capture would be converted into a QuickTime. I would choose the format, whether it be QuickTime or an AVI, Windows AVI type
Okay.
Format.
All right, and that doesn't add pixels or change pixels, correct?
No,
Okay. And you tried to enhance the videos, correct?
I did.
And you couldn't do that?
No.
Okay. Now, you were told to circle, working with the prosecutors and the police, what they said was a Toyota coming down the street, correct?
That's correct.
Do you
Well, silver vehicle.
A silver vehicle.
Correct.
All right. May I have these? I'll let you look at these two images. Sir. And you knew at the time, at some point, that it was a Forerunner, correct?
I did.
Now let me look at these two screen captures. One at 2:16:27 from the Tufts exit lane video.
That's correct.
Okay. And one at 2:17:12 from the Tufts exit lane video.
Yes.
And you reckon those as being accurate screen captures of what you probably saw on the video. And I'd represent to you, we screen captured all of what is Exhibit 29.
Right.
Okay.
That's correct.
Any of these marked, Your Honor?
Without objection,
Okay.
the 280, 281.
Show you what has now been marked, which are screen captures from the Tufts garage. This is number 280 at 2:16:27. I'm getting technical help here. Now, did anyone from the police department that you were working at ask you to screen capture this Toyota 4Runner that was leaving the parking garage?
No.
Matter of fact, did you ever make note of this Toyota 4Runner that was leaving the parking garage?
I did not.
Okay, and that was at 2:16:27? If you see it should be on the, it's probably gone away, I'm sorry. I mean,
No, I have it here, but it's zoomed in.
Right, 2:16:27?
Yes,
Okay, and that would again be on July 16, 2012, correct?
that's correct.
All right, now let me show you Exhibit 281, which is the next screenshot of it at 2:17:12, correct?
That's correct.
Again, you would agree with me that this is a silver car?
It is a silver car.
Toyota 4Runner?
I'm not sure of the make.
Okay. But in any event, you were looking for silver cars down the street, correct?
I was.
And did anyone ask you to take a picture of this silver car that had to turn on the street to get out, correct? Out of the parking garage?
Had someone asked me to?
Did someone ask you to, right?
No.
Okay. And you don't know, sir, because you're not involved in the investigation, whether or not this car pulled out, went around the block, or where it went. You don't know.
No, I do not.
But no one directed you to this silver car, which appears to be a Toyota 4Runner.
No.
Now, before we get back to that, I'd just like to go into quickly into a different area, which is a little shorter, which is, that's not all you did with involving this case, correct?
Correct.
All right. As a matter of fact, you were called by Detective Joshua Cummings to go with him on Monday, June 22nd, 2015?
Yes.
Okay, and you went to the location of the Boston Police Department Evidence Control, correct?
I did.
Okay, and you weren't asked to photograph the inside of the car at that point, the Toyota, right?
Just the exterior.
And you were asked to photograph the exterior because why?
I was photographing the exterior to record it and to get full images of the vehicle itself. That the crime scene, that the images taken at the time of the crime scene in the bay didn't have the full length of the vehicle.
Well, you also did something additional. The mirrors of the Toyota 4Runner, which had been stored with the police since June 26, 2013, were broken, weren't they? If I gave you a document to refresh your recollection, would that help?
Sure. Okay.
Okay, so now that you have reviewed this document, does that refresh your recollection of whether or not you were called on Monday, June 22nd, 2015 to the Boston Evidence Unit to photograph the Toyota?
There were two different incidents of going out there to photograph the vehicle.
Okay. But you don't have any reports yourself or any notes yourself to know when that was you went?
No, I do not.
So, but you do have a refreshed recollection that you did go to photograph the vehicle because the side mirrors on the vehicle had been broken.
The time that I photographed the vehicle at the Hyde Park facility, the mirrors were intact.
Is there another John Green in the Boston Police Department Evidence Control? Boston Police Department?
No, that's me.
Okay.
I'm not part of their unit. I'm part of the Suffolk County unit.
Okay, that's fair. But you did go photograph the vehicle on this date, correct? The Toyota.
I did.
Right, and you went because you were called there because even though this car had been in police custody, the side mirrors had been broken.
That's correct.
And you photographed that.
Well, I photographed the vehicle at that particular location when the mirrors were intact. I would have to refer to the metadata that's attached to my individual photographs to pull up the date that it was photographed. And
do you have those photographs with you?
I don't.
No. But this report from Detective Cummings does not refresh your recollection on the day you went?
I did. I remember going there that time. We took the tarp off the vehicle, but the mirrors were broken.
Okay. So the previous time you saw the car, the mirrors weren't broken, and you don't know what date that is because you don't keep notes or report, right?
Well, it's on the metadata of the photograph.
Right.
That's correct.
But to refresh your recollection quickly, you'd have to go look at the metadata. You just can't pull out a report and see when it was.
That's true.
Okay. Now, when you were there, did anyone ask you to photograph the inside of the car?
No, they did not.
Did you look inside the car?
I didn't.
Okay. Did anyone ask you to look inside the car, or you just were there to photograph the outside?
I was there to photograph the exterior.
Okay. So is it fair to say that pretty much everything that you did was at the direction of somebody in the Boston Police Department?
Well, they granted me access to the vehicle, and then I photographed the exterior. I needed to have exterior photographs in order to continue the work that I was doing.
Okay. And so you took the exterior photographs, you took the photograph of the gun at the direction, correct?
I did.
You put a circle on a board at their direction, on a silver car,
No, there was a video.
a video. But you took a composite, a compilation, then you put circles on a compilation, or was it on, just on the video?
Compilation is the video, is it
That's
not?
correct. Yes, it is. Yeah, the video has circles. The photographic composites do not.
Do not have circles. Okay,
That's
the video
correct.
has. But you had made photographs with circles on the photographic composites, right? Or no?
No, I did not.
Okay, you just made arrows.
I did.
And that was again all at the direction of the Boston Police Department.
Well, I mean, it was a collaborative effort between myself, the assistant district attorney, and the police department.
Okay. Now I just want to ask you one other thing. I want to make sure that you did look at the entrance lane video from beginning to end, correct?
I didn't view the entire video.
You did do from 225:08 to 225:13, correct? You
Right,
did
I was
look at
looking
that.
for certain segments.
Yeah, you did look at that though, correct?
I did.
Okay. And did you log how long the entrance lane video was?
Did I log it?
Yeah.
No, I
Do you-
did not.
Right. Do you know that it started at 11:31 p.m. on July 15th and ended 3:05 a.m. on July 16th? Did you know that?
It could have.
Okay. But you only looked for certain areas.
That's right. I was looking for certain clips.
Okay. Excuse me one second. All right. Thank you, Mr. Green. I appreciate it. And another time I'll ask you how J. Edgar Hoover was. Thank you, sir.
No questions, All right, Mr. Green, thank you, sir. Please sit down, please watch your step, ladies and gentlemen.